Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout New Vegas. We spent 3 hours last episode wrapping up I believe it was called the Honest Arts DLC. We have one more DLC that starts here at this abandoned Brotherhood of Steel. I would assume it's going to heavily focus on Brotherhood of Steel items, so we're going in with some kind of insanity. So why not take a chainsaw with us while we're at it? We'll play with this and see how well that really plays. My only main concern here is I would have to assume that this quest is the quest that we're trying to do. First of all, the Sierra Madre grand opening, track down the source of the Sierra Madre invitation. If not, then this is just some kind of DLC quest or non-DLC quest possibly that I just missed. And then my other concern though is just that we would somehow not get to dry wells and not get to the long 15. I probably could walk to dry wells. I have no idea how I'm going to get past the fence that requires a key to get to the long 15. I half wonder, though, if this DLC isn't gonna be so much Brotherhood of Steel, or isn't even really gonna take us outside of the Mojave like the other DLC has. And we're getting no warning so far. I think I may have come into this area and already searched this. Yeah. That would make the most sense, that there would be an empty corpse and an empty treasure chest that I would take this. And then we can see Sierra Madre. Left my heart in Sierra Madre. So this is all Sierra Madre. So, dead money takes you to an extremely dangerous area of the Mojave Wasteland. A one-way journey until your business at the Sierra Madre is finished. So we're on very hard difficulty. We may need to drop down to normal difficulty at some point. Although they're talking about normal mode versus hardcore mode, which is different. In normal mode, you encounter new traps, enemies, and new companions whose lives are tied to yours. In hardcore mode, you'll be fighting the environment as well. A toxic city that erodes health over time. Companions are more vulnerable, and so are you. Dead money is recommended for experienced couriers, level 20 plus. If up to the challenge, continue on the Sierra Madre. Grand opening awaits and has been for 200 years. And notice that the default option here is to stay in the Mojave Wasteland, which means don't go. Perhaps it should just be more on the nose when it is popping up a warning message like this. Technically I am below level 20, but that is only because I've hit level 50 and then reset back down to level 1. And even at that, I'm at like level 11. So the Lonesome Road wanted level 20, or 20 plus, I'm not sure. This one's level 20, 20 plus. The Old World Blues wanted 15, 15 plus, and I'd say Honest Hearts didn't even give a warning, or I don't remember what the warning was. It definitely feels like you could have played Honest Hearts even at like level 10 if you made it to that point on the map by level 10. Just as soon as you get there, you should probably do Honest Hearts. Arguably though, you'll get more value out of doing Old World Blues as soon as possible. And then dead money doesn't really change anything. Well, I don't know what dead money does, but the Lonesome Road doesn't really change anything other than give you some extra perks with Eddie, which does make an argument to do it before you're at the end of the main game. And so we've got new posters and new art, and looks to me like what could happen here is that we are going to just hear a radio station that is sending out some kind of signal from a radio. Not that radios actually could be transmitters, they just don't have the antenna to correct. So if I take informed and it says to correct, then we know it's ED, so we shouldn't do computer. And then bothered. And then before we unlock the door, let's just see if this requires a key. It doesn't. Right. So we hacked that. There's also a drop box, which the idea of drop boxes are something that I feel like the whole game should have had throughout this whole experience, where you just drop items into a drop box and they teleport to a location. And here we're getting gassed. So what was behind the door? Whoops. I guess we'll find out at the end of the DLC. And here you have a whole loading sequence, and it's clearly better designed than the main game starting.
The legend, the curses, foolishness about it lying in the middle of the city of the dead. Buried beneath a blood-red cloud, a bright, shining monument luring treasure hunters to their doom. The world's most famous stars and entertainers were invited to its grand opening. An invitation was a sign of exclusiveness. The opening was supposed to symbolize a road to a brighter future, not just for the world, but for all who came to its doors. A chance for anyone to begin again. Except the Sierra Madre never opened. The war froze it in time, like a big flashbulb going off. The grand opening, one big ending of humanity. It's still out there, in the wastes, preserved, just waiting for someone to crack it open. But getting to it, that's not the hard part. It's letting go.
And see, right now there's like a projection light of circles on that black screen that I just don't think is getting actually recorded.
Are you listening? Good. From now on, when I talk, listen.
It's Eliza,
follow my
finally.
instructions. Play stupid. Play clever. Make the mistake of saying no. That collar on your neck will go off and take your head with it. It's like that Pip Boy on your wrist, except filled with explosives. A little radio of the old world. Just needed some tuning. Do what I say, and the collar won't go off. Refuse, try and run, disobey me, I'll kill you and find someone else. There's no escape from here until I let you go. The sooner you accept your situation, the better. That structure you see above the fountain, the Sierra Madre Casino.
Can't move the
You
camera.
need to break inside. Heist. Too many years in the making. But to get inside, avoid its traps, you'll need to gather a team. As I found, one cannot do it alone.
So this is straight up just going to be a heist movie. And I wonder how Veronica would have really felt about this story. Like, I imagine you couldn't have taken her with you as far as a companion. Otherwise that would have just drastically changed the whole experience. And I've pretty much forgotten about Father Elijah as far as expecting him to actually be alive or interact with him. I thought he was just going to be a mythical type character.
Around the villa are 3 other callers like yours. Caller 8, 12, and 14. Find all 3 and get them here to the fountain. Then we'll talk more. And should you get any ideas about killing each other and taking the treasure of the Sierra Madre for yourself, a warning. All your callers are linked. One of you dies, you all die. If that's what it takes to make you cooperate, so be it.
Now, is Father Elijah wearing a collar? Because it kind of looks like he is. Just doesn't... So find the other 3 people with bomb collars, bring them back here. I think maybe... I was thinking they were saying find the bomb collars and then find 3 other people and force them to wear them.
Because in some respects, breaking into the Sierra Madre is easier than breaking human instinct. Greed. The villa is filled with corpses. Some killed by the dangers here, some by me. Others turned on each other. Once they realized the Sierra Madre could be theirs, they cared nothing for their freedom, their survival, or each other. The ones brought here live on only in what they've left behind. Their marks, graffiti on the walls, and victims they've killed. Some tried to help, left supplies and healing for others who came. Their reward? They were tracked down, killed by others with baser instincts. Some of these murderers went as far as to leave traps behind them, turning markers for help into death traps for anyone following them. It killed some of them when they forgot where the traps were, or when they desperately needed the assistance they had cut others off from. Too many. This place is dangerous. And its quarantine measures, its hazards, have claimed many failures upon failures. You think I wanted to place collars on you to ensure compliance? No. If robots could have done this, I would have sent them. The Sierra Madre is a complicated lock. Cracking it open requires human hands.
So I just had to turn off the lights in my room because this red overcast is fairly dark, and inherently this was a problem with the Lonesome Road too, is that the different visual effects in the main game and the DLC all just seems like really poor decision making to have that and just not have the game be nice and bright and easy to look at.
The Sierra Madre has many defenses, means of screening guests for illicit or dangerous items. Your arrival here, weaponless, was not my intention. The casino, this villa, it takes anything with even a trace of radioactivity, traces of unknown substances, and returns it home, the bunker. The process is automated, and the casino itself has other similar services. I was unable to find a workaround except to send others in as tools. Still, I have not left you defenseless. And the Sierra Madre's security, in some respects, can help you if you are resourceful enough.
So this almost feels like the beginning of a BioShock experience where you're just going to be weaponless and have to find a wrench to even start to use your first weapon. So the idea of taking a chainsaw in, the idea of taking in some of the weapons I had on me, the idea of wearing armor, maybe armor, is out also. So, yeah. You would kind of expect all the DLC to do this, just start you off at 0, so you know the game is balanced, but then that really undercuts the idea of a role-playing game in which you can just equip your character the way you would like to equip them. I don't think we've quite hit the point where there's too much backstory being told, but I would prefer if this was just a linear speech monologue.
This place is well preserved. Few who came here ever returned. All the treasures of the old world lie scattered about, virtually untouched. Search, hunt, craft what you can from what you find. The trash of the pre-war era can keep you alive. Food, knives, more. Use them. Even the villa's toxins and the residue it leaves behind can be shaped into tools and weapons. Gather it as well. Also, there is one more thing in your possession. A rifle that will keep you alive. As surely as the caller will.
So, I feel like this might be where we run into the cosmic knife. What is this rifle?
It was a hollow rifle, a weapon I constructed when I arrived. I have since made superior models and modifications. For now, that tool will have to do until you find other weapons. And I suggest you do. The hollow rifle's ammo is limited. Still, it should serve well enough. I fashioned it from the holograms of the villa and used it against the villa's living inhabitants.
I'm confused as far as how could a holographic rifle do any damage? Is it projecting holograms?
Yes, the inhabitants. Avoid them if you can. They are difficult to kill. Whatever has created them, bullets, explosions, energy, it can make them inert for a time, then they seem to crawl back up, restored. Perhaps it's the cloud. Perhaps something in their physiology.
So it's just like respawning zombies type monsters, it sounds like. And it never seems to affect, it never seems to be quite the right time for me to have a coughing fit, so I'm gonna mute myself for a second and try and clear my throat. 1 second. Okay, hopefully that's better, and so I'm not just coughing every time through this. This definitely, once again, is running into the scenario where it just doesn't feel quite like a Fallout experience.
The cloud is what blankets the sky here. You may smell it in the air. Copper and sulfur. Burns the lungs and seeps into the skin. As for its origins, I'm not certain. Pre-war industrial pollutants. Something in the Sierra Madre structure. It is unique across the wasteland. And deadly. It has kept this place preserved since the Great War.
So I was thinking that Elijah was looking for information on synths. I kept expecting synths, simulated humans, to show up in this game, but I just don't really believe that's going to happen. So I'm assuming Elijah is just obsessed about finding some kind of pre-war technology, but we're not really supposed to know what it is.
The air here is lethal only if you enter concentrated pockets of the cloud. Too long inside one, you'll die, so be careful where you stand. I've seen some survive concentration of the cloud for short periods of time, if healthy enough. Others were too weak. Rebreathers, chemical suits, there is no protection against it. It decays all it touches. I found fighting it useless.
And see, I'm also a little worried about I'm going to get these new companions and that they may just get knocked down and that might be considered them dying. And then I might die automatically because of it, which would be really unfair.
Anywhere sheltered from the cloud. Inside buildings, tunnels. Any place not exposed to the outside air. Anything the cloud has touched has preserved it one way or another. But only the holograms in the villa truly remain.
Let's ask about the holograms.
Ghosts. They fill the villa. More in the casino. Much more. They carry out the functions the dead once did. They cannot be harmed. They only perform the same rote tasks until their power dies. They are of no consequence, except for the security holograms, the ones with the silhouettes of the armored Sierra Madre guards. Most holograms perform specific functions. The security holograms, ever since the bombs fell, now perform their function. They will kill anyone they detect. They are immune to guns, weapons, EMPs, even energy weapons. Still, they have limitations.
So it definitely feels like it's 100% stealth.
Enough to avoid detection. Each has an emitter. Destroy or disable it, and they cease to be a threat. Still, at least they still work as intended. Other technology here is more of a threat to you. Notably, the villa's radios and speakers.
Weird. Radios and speakers.
Yes, music was intended to be broadcast all over the villa. Over time, however, the radio signal has decayed and emits a different frequency. Speakers and radios interfere with the bomb caller frequency and can trigger the detonators prematurely. It is an unfortunate side effect, one I did not anticipate. I was unable to calibrate the callers to block the signals. So, you'll have to make do. Yes, but not immediately. You'll hear a beep from your caller's detonator. When you
So every radio and speaker is effectively
scan the
proximity.
area and find the signal source. There are damaged speakers and shielded ones. The damaged ones you can destroy at range. Don't get close. You can't switch them off like a radio. The damaged speakers are sparking. Hard to miss. The casings are resistant to vandalism. Punching or hitting them will not destroy them. Gunshots, energy blasts, even spears thrown with great force can puncture their exterior. Shielded speakers can't be destroyed at all. You'll need to avoid them or switch them off via a terminal. I'll leave the method up to you.
So do I have any other questions? Let's see. Let's go with just the default questions.
Unfamiliar with the legend of the Sierra Madre? The casino exists. You are one of the few who look upon it.
This feels like this could be either really short experience, or this could be
lies in the shadow.
just very repetitive.
Is a dumping ground of failed construction. Pre-war junk that has aged poorly. Ask. I brought you here. There are mechanisms in place once the traps across the Mojave are sprung. For now, your sole focus should be the Sierra Madre and how to get inside. Until then, you won't leave alive. Ask.
Why is my vision blurring?
It is the cloud that surrounds the villa. It shouldn't prove lethal in the time you were here. Prolonged exposure would be hazardous, however. Fall asleep, and you will not wake up.
So they're getting rid of the sleep mechanic also.
Ask.
So that's just this question and then skip the rest of it.
I do not know. A pre-war icon, perhaps. It is of no consequence, aside from being a circuit I can utilize. I've downloaded the instructions and markers on your Pip-Boy, in case you forget.
I'm running out of
And
patience now.
I
We're
have
approaching
access to
25
that
minutes.
device on your wrist. Get the other 3 here after that. I'll have more instructions for you. Do this, I'll let you go. I'll let all of you go.
So here's a good question to ask.
One is a trusted ally. Obedient, caller unknown, although the caller helps. The other two, well, we'll have to see what the trap's got. Yes. Caller 8, the FEV reject, the super mutant. He's docile, predictable, and provided he's not starving, should be easy to command. I lost contact with him some time ago. Probably after he dragged you here from the trap. Find him. He'll follow you. Caller unknown.
FEV.
A long story. FEV, a virus with an even longer story. It gave birth to the docile one. Turned them into a super mutant long ago. Your piece of Rocco trash will help you, I've ensured it. It can latch onto the signal of the callers.
I assume he means
And
the
tune
Pip
into their
Boy there.
frequencies. The bomb callers come with radios embedded in them. You can eavesdrop easily. It was part of their design to listen in. They can even screen out white noise from the environment to allow greater monitoring. Good. If necessary, I will guide you through the villa's broadcast systems. If you get lost, return here, and I'll direct you. I've downloaded instructions on an audio log to your Pip-Boy in case you can't read. If you forget why you're here, let my voice remind you.
Could you read the Pip-Boy screen? If that was the case.
Stroll along the winding streets of our beautiful resort. Make new friends, or rekindle old flames. Let your eyes take in the luxurious expanse of the open desert under clear, starlit skies. Gaze straight on into the sunset from our villa rooftops. Countless diversions await. Gamble in our casino, take in the theater, or stay in one of our exclusive executive suites that will shelter you and cater to your every whim. So if life's worries have weighed you down,
So what's weird here is
if you
the
need
idea
an
that
escape
there
from
would be
your troubles,
holograms
or if you just need an opportunity to
really
begin
breaks
again,
all the
join
terminal
us.
computer screens we
Let
see
go and leave the
everywhere
world
else.
behind at the Sierra
It's just
Madre
not a
grand
good
opening this October.
canon
We'll be
thing.
waiting.
It just implies that hologram technology only exists in this area. Then it would have had to have been just like brand new technology when the bombs fell. And it may very well have just been part of a plan. We're also not getting any subtitles here from what this lady is talking about. She definitely feels kind of like a prototypical Mad Moxie. And she sounds like that's just going to go in circles.
Let your eyes take in the luxurious expanse of the
So
open
we're supposed to
desert
find
under
the
clear,
Dead Man's
starlit
Hand of
skies.
Sierra Madre caravan
Gaze straight
cards.
on into the
And we
sunset
may
from our
actually
villa
have to
rooftops. Countless diversions await.
play some
Gamble in our
caravan
casino,
and gamble.
take in the theater, or stay in one of our exclusive executive suites
I have not
that will
really
shelter you
engaged at
and
all
cater to your every whim.
with.
So if life's worries have weighed you down, if you need an
I
escape
have
from
not
your
engaged
troubles,
at all with
or
the.
if you just need an opportunity to begin again, join us.
Let's see.
Let go and
Are
leave
we
the world
able to
behind at the
upskirt this
Sierra
character?
Madre grand opening this
Yeah,
October.
doesn't seem like there's anything to see
We'll
there.
be waiting.
Um,
Has your life taken a turn? Do troubles beset
and if
you?
anything, this feels
Has
a lot
fortune
more
left you
like a
behind? If so,
mist
the
game.
Sierra Madre Casino in all its
See, I don't know
glory
if that is a radio,
inviting
but I
you
would
to
suspect it
begin
is.
again. Come to a place where wealth,
So let's
excitement,
look at the world
and
map. It
intrigue
is
await
incredibly,
around
incredibly
every
small
corner.
from the looks
Stroll
of it.
along the
Yeah,
winding streets of our beautiful
that
resort.
is crazy.
Make new friends or rekindle old
It
flames.
says find
Let
8,
your eyes take in
color
the
number 8
luxurious
dog.
expanse of the open desert
And so I would
under
assume
clear, starlit skies.
that
Gaze
the
straight on into the sunset from our villa rooftops.
way this plays
Countless
is
diversions await.
we
Gamble
are
in our casino.
mostly
Take
going
in
to
the
spend most
theater,
of the time
or
in the
stay
Sierra
in one of our
Madre and
exclusive
They're just doing an experiment here on really high difficulty settings.
So if life's worries have
Now there is a
weighed you
slight
down,
danger
if you need an escape from your troubles,
that
or if you just need an
our
opportunity to begin
radiation, I guess, is
again,
at 0.
join us. Let go and leave the world behind
Yeah.
at the Sierra Madre grand opening this
So,
October.
hollow rifle
We'll be
damage is the
Has
effect
your life taken a
it
turn?
seems to do.
Do troubles beset you?
69
Has fortune
damage.
left
This
you
laser
behind?
pistol,
If
laser
so,
detonator is
the
from
Sierra
Munson Road.
Madre Casino
This is from Old
in
World
all
Blues.
its
This is the
glory
camera from
is
the main
inviting
game,
you
which I really
to
should have given you.
begin again.
And we just have this dead
Come to a
mount
place where wealth,
money collar.
excitement,
We can
and
add a
intrigue
rebreather.
await around
Might as
every
well equip
corner.
it. And we
Stroll
have
along the
a
winding streets of our
jumpsuit with
beautiful
no
resort.
damage reduction
Make
at all.
new friends,
I have
or rekindle
nothing in my
old
aid
flames.
except for the emergency
Let your
NCR
eyes
radio.
take in the luxurious
And
expanse of the open desert under clear,
It looks to
starlit
me like
skies.
we have
Gaze straight on into the sunset
most
from
of
our
the
villa rooftops.
random story
Countless
stuff,
diversions await. Gamble in our casino, take in the
but
theater, or
everything
stay in one
else
of our
miscellaneous is
exclusive
gone.
executive suites
And
that
ammo
will
is
shelter
gone,
you
so we have been
and
really
cater to
stripped
your
of
every
everything.
whim. So if life's worries have weighed you down, if you need an escape from your troubles, or if you just need an opportunity to begin again, join us. Let go and leave the world behind.
Let's just make a safety save here,
This October,
and
we'll be waiting.
let's see what this does. So these are not audio things, these are vending machines. This is an unusual looking crafting station. As you approach, lines of tiny holographic items appear in the dispensing tray. Wireframe schematics and list of consumables from the machine can assemble and package for the consumer. There's a slot on the side with a Sierra Madre symbol. The slot does not look part of the original design. Okay. So we are going to need to probably craft a doctor's bag at some point. Otherwise, it does seem like what we're doing here is crafting food. Pack of cigarettes would be my guess as far as what we don't want to craft more than anything. And I don't think any of this food is any different. I know some of this food can potentially craft other things if we could cook, but treasures mine 8 holes. Seems like there's a building here. Medical district. It would be just kind of silly not to
The villa's comm
investigate this.
speakers have aged poorly, like the Madre. Pre-war junk. The speakers emit a signal that'll set off your caller if you stay too long. There are damaged speakers and shielded ones. The damaged ones you can destroy at range. Don't get close. You can't switch them off like a radio.
So we're getting the same information again. And so this is a whole region, but we don't really have a reason to go into that region yet. So let's just wait until the quest tells us to do that. So we found some junk. Is any of it returnable? No. And then here's the audio.
Are you listening? From now on, when I talk to you, pay attention. I've left markers on your Pip-Boy. Find the 3 other callers in town, 8, 12, and 14. Get them to the fountain. Obey me, and you can all go free.
And so I have wanted in the past for parts of the section. Let's turn on the flashlight first of all. Yeah, I've definitely wanted in the past for the game to be more urban instead of being these very boring wasteland environments, but I don't know how far this really is going to end up going. This may end up being a game of finding all the possible pickups in an area. It may be a game of just spending a lot of time. Yeah. And unfortunately, not even really going to get anywhere. We're less than 40 minutes in here, and I'm going to have to pause the recording. And anytime I pause the recording, I should make a safety save and then take a bit of a break, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, yeah, if this enters this medical district and the medical district just has that level to it, then this whole area does seem like it is going to be relatively small and makes the whole DLC feel relatively small, whereas most DLCs you see a big open area, so it gives you the impression. Of course, maybe that is the thing to consider here, is that they are doing something different instead of just having the same old gimmicks be done. So, Jar of Cloud Residue has been a crafting ingredient we have seen. So it does mean if I'm going to craft any of those items, I am going to have to do it from this area. And see, I don't think the game is going to run particularly even smoother by being in these smaller areas, because you just have a lot of tile work and decoration textures loading in. And let's see. This definitely does just feel like this is 100% inspired by BioShock. You don't even have a way of drinking, which the game has been extremely rigid around the idea of having water in places so that you can knife spear, so that you can drink and take in radiation and just be reminded that this whole area is radioactive. Let's see. It's all written backwards. I don't like the idea that everything has been retexturized here. Garbage cans look different, and now we have dead secrets based on these glowing hands that we're looking for. And so it's going to be a case where the regular gun is going to be used for radios, and knife spear might be a better one just to use. Yeah. And it kind of just swings it, which I was expecting it to stab.
Watch out for the villa inhabitants. They're difficult to kill unless you chop them apart. If you can, blow them up or disintegrate them.
So we have a ghost harvester here. Let's see, hollow rifle uses MF cells, laser pistol uses these cells. All of my custom crafting and perks, which the game might as well just take all of the perks away because very little of them, I imagine, are going to play a role. Okay. So the move here is to, I guess, take these guys on first. So the question is just how close can I get to this? This definitely feels like a BioShock experience. Instead of having a character with AI or anything like that, they have programmed this guy to just stay here. Let's see, at this point, 95% is like the highest rate we can get. Let's see how this goes. And that just used all of my bullets. So yeah, that didn't work. And playing this on very hard, I think, is going to be a mistake because of that. And there's nothing he was really grabbing at. Okay. Knife spear. Let's get that up to a higher amount of damage. And then, yeah, world map, there's kind of nothing here. On the other hand, I guess I could have just activated this, and that may have distracted him. Whoops. Ooh, and I don't have health. Come to think of it, so doing something like that is a real mistake. And eating that Blamco mac and cheese is a real mistake. So this is just a survival experience, and there is just a danger here that I maybe need to, like, do I even have Radaway? If we drink that, does our perk remove the radiation? No. But wow. So they found an actual instance here where you need to sit here and drink water out of a toilet and get irradiated. I do feel like this is kind of the experience they were expecting more players to have in Fallout games. It's just not really the experience that most players, I think, do have. Yeah. Like, just it's going to severely relate to how fast you get leveled up. So We can make a Cloud's Kiss potent, which would reduce our HP by 10 for 12 seconds. Why would you want that, though? And then, of the things we can craft here, I'm not sure we're going to get anything that's going to let us craft anything other than Cloud's Kiss, which I guess we'll just craft it anyways. It definitely just feels like there's going to be a finite number of caps you can find. There's going to be a finite amount of basically everything. And I question if it isn't going to be a case where the... what is that dinging sound? Yeah, I question if maybe the companions are going to be more of a hindrance than a help. There's also real danger here that you're going to just get twisted around. No mirrors still in the game. They never have even begun to try and address that. So I'm assuming this guy has just been trapped. Yeah. I guess we could be listening to certain radios. Just knocking on that one.
You'd think it was spring, the way tortoises keep rolling in.
So it is just kind of like the same repeated.
Have set that radio signal on repeat.
Weirdly, we can get to see our Madre broadcast,
Let your eyes take in the luxurious expanse of the
which is just that. And the mysterious broadcast, I don't know what the deal with that is and why we can receive it here in this area.
Speakers and radios interfere with the bomb caller frequency and can trigger the detonators prematurely. It is an unfortunate side effect, one I did not anticipate. I was unable to calibrate the callers to block the signals, so you'll have to make do.
So at the top left there we have an indicator. Right, here's the problem though. How am I supposed to hit the radio? Well, they said these radios here would spark if they could be destroyed. So if I go here, it starts to beep a little bit later. If I go here, it starts to beep a little bit more. Is that the radio? Here's the problem, is there's multiple permanent radios here. And is there some other possible way So now the vending machine can make steady. Can I possibly jump over this? No. So I think the move here is that you have to do this and then do this. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Noise makes my stomach hurt.
Hmm. So I guess maybe we have to just work our way around. Guess maybe that's the thought. Is that there's just got to be some kind of terminal here. So once again, the game is going to want you to just read a massive amount, and we're in a weird position now. I have only 10 bobby pins. So I'm going to have to be fairly careful. C4 plastic explosive. It's going to be weird how I use that, however. First of all, I can't really use it near my companions, or I might kill them. So I gotta be careful about that. Sunglasses. Probably more useful, but not really doing anything. I don't think we're going to do any swimming. And the game had crashed. Which does give us an excuse to blow our head off when we get back into the game, I suppose. Anytime you have like a proximity mine situation, it is going to come down to just the timing on it. So without experimentation, I could play this whole DLC not realizing that there's plenty of time actually to run towards a terminal and turn off a radio. My only concern would be maybe if the...
It is an unfortunate side effect, one I did not anticipate. I was...
Yeah. Exclusively, so we don't want anything LY. Hospitality. Okay. Sinclair as a name.
Unable to calibrate the collars to block the signals. So, you'll have to make do.
So we get our head blown off. That is the right direction. As in, that is the wrong direction.
It is an unfortunate side effect, one I did not anticipate. I was unable to calibrate the collars to block the signals. Noise makes my stomach hurt. You'll have to make do.
So you can't turn off radios, but you can turn off ham radios? From the looks of it? I am confused as far as what that actually said. So I guess it is the case where if we see ham radios, we just run and turn them off. That at least gives us a understanding of what we're supposed to do, and it explains why the radios are in the rest of the world. But man, there sure are a lot of radios in the rest of the world. For them to do absolutely nothing. Unless, of course, finishing this DLC leaves the collar on you. Which that would be weird. Picking up coffee mugs now is just going to have me over encumbered more than likely before we get anywhere. Pretend like we're reading all of this. Okay, so the only thing you really don't want to do is just break a lock. Yeah, now I'm down to 9 bobby pins. But I feel like what happens is they give you more bobby pins if you start getting down really low. If that's not really the case, then yeah, I'm gonna have to be extremely cautious.
Cage hiding downstairs.
And we need to keep an eye out for traps too. Okay. Break down scrap metal to lead. Like break down bullets and make other bullets.
Waiting for you to try and let me go.
Not getting the subtitles popping up anymore. Did that setting just go away? Dialogue subtitles, general subtitles, both on, just not working. There, I found 1 bobby pin. So this guy is saying there's a bad guy watching, just waiting for you to try and let him go. So let's go take out the bad guy.
Let's dog hurt self.
I don't know where the radio is, though.
Makes dog hurt self.
Okay, it does stop here when we came in here, so that we have some safety there. Can make some ghost light, which would give us ghost sight vision. Not sure what ghost sight vision is. Probably still shouldn't be taking bent.
Don't let him make me hurt myself. Hurt keeps him away.
And here we have our first cosmic knife. Okay. I don't think you make the cosmic knife in the cooking interface, though. Wouldn't make a lot of sense. So, I don't want to get rid of any of the cosmic knives. Ever. Because they're so limited. This is going to be a door to a villa, to the villa. Which I guess is the wraparound way. That was super easy. Literally didn't have to do anything. The dinging. I assume I don't have to have 100 Sierra Madre chips in my inventory. At the same time. Okay. And we're in a weird situation now at level 12 in that there probably is a perk here that would be very helpful. Sniper perk, your chance to hit an opponent's head and vats is significantly increased. I'd like that. Let's see. Shutting down robots. I don't think these holograms are technically going to be robots. Let's see. Being over encumbered no longer prevents you from fast travel. I don't really need that. 30 extra HPs. Probably don't really need that. Weapons heavier than 10 are now half as much for you. Modified weapons that drop below 10 will not gain the benefit. Eat super mutant or feral gold corpses to regain health. Probably don't need that. And the rest of these are things I've pretty much just rejected. Scrounger, though. Wow. We should take Scrounger at this point. Just for this last DLC. We definitely should have taken Scrounger earlier. But of the all the available perks, Scrounger is the one to take right now, and if we get up to more levels, we then should take the reduction in weight. Okay. Scrounger it is. I don't think that's going to reset any existing boxes to the point where you'd have to go back and research everything. Definitely felt like there should be more rad roaches in the game overall. I don't think I'm really accomplishing too much. is still kind of crazy. You can sit on chairs and that does nothing for you. Okay. I think we are at a point now, though, where we can put on some defensive items. Can't take off the collar. We could repair police pistols themselves. Yeah. Probably don't need a bunch of police pistols. Yeah. There's just a question, really, how much we need of anything. A lot of doors here that lead to kind of nothing. And you can't jump through these sections, you can only jump down the broken sections. Okay. And all this is going to do is just lead us back into the police station. Okay.
Master, help me. Master, help me. Please.
So the question is, where's the radio? Is it there? No, that just looks like a door. So it looks like all you can really do is just run.
Promise, Master. Just keep him away.
Alright, so I'm very confused now. Because the game basically lied to me and said that you couldn't just go turn off radios. When that's totally the whole move, is to just turn off the radios.
Don't let him make me hurt myself. Hurt keeps him away.
We're getting some more stealth. Binoculars actually will play a good role in this DLC. What was that? Absinthe?
Don't let him make me hurt myself. Hurt keeps him away.
This definitely feels like this is supposed to be dark and spooky like BioShock. And I definitely wasn't expecting the basement.
Down to where I am. Maybe you saw the letters I scratched on the villa walls. A little farther. Follow my voice. That's it. The one in the cage. Dog. I had to lock him up. He keeps disobeying me.
So we're playing them very hard, so I do think there is a value in being cautious here. I'm not just running in to a huge fight. Where's the radio? Well, I don't see a radio in here, so I guess the thought is you just run through this whole area and then open this door. And so I imagine you just kind of need to secure areas first and then come back and do searching later. So that's going to be annoying because then there definitely will be rooms that... Why in the world am I picking up a vacuum cleaner? Yeah, there'll be some rooms that'll just be cleaned out of items. And there'll be some rooms that are still full of items. I can't help but wonder, like, would the local map tell us where we are, where we're going? Kind of seems like there's two different ways around here, but I kind of don't think that is the case. I think this is just a closet. Scotch and whiskey. Pop out. What ruins this concept is the fact that you just are going to be back to where you were very quickly. You're going to pick up a whole bunch of garbage, and that garbage is going to fill up your inventory. Then you're going to have no use for it at all. I kind of have a feeling that this is not me fighting a ghost as much as this is me fighting some other colored person who was trapped, who is trying to rob the Sierra Madre. Although if that was the case, why can't Elijah just blow up his brains?
That's me there on the table. The disc. My voice. Can't take any chances, though. You may be some victim who simply stumbled down here. If so, can't let you let Dog out. No, not yet. If you're who I think you are, you came to fetch Dog. Use him to drag others here. Now I'll use you. And that Pip-Boy you're wearing. You're smart. Clever. The key to Dog's cage is simple. Take my voice to the cage above. Let me speak to the beast inside. Then you and I, we can talk.
So I would assume he's confusing you for Elijah. But and I am glad you can't turn these radios back on, because that would be bad if you just accidentally double tapped. And as much as I might enjoy betraying Elijah, we kind of have enough backstory to not really want to betray him, for either out of fear or loyalty. And yeah, I just don't think trying to betray him is going to lead to anything good. I mean, I think you'd just blow your head off. did not get a fight or an encounter there, so he may just be the final bad guy. So this is just kind of like a private police station, it seems, for this Sierra Madre casino. Or maybe designated police station might be a more appropriate term instead of private. Can I turn the radio back on? No. Good. Have I grabbed everything in these areas? I don't know. Who turned on the radio? Which radio is it? Over here is not causing a beeping. Over here is not causing a beeping. We already searched this, yes. Walking alongside this wall isn't causing a beeping. So where's the radio? Oh, it's down there on the floor.
Master, help me. Master, help me, please.
Okay. So, of the things we can do here, is just to play this audio. That's what the quest is telling us to do.
Dog, back in the cage.
What have we here? You weren't who I was expecting. I'm disappointed. Still, even if you aren't my intended guest, you take direction. Good. You can't have been an idiot to figure out how to release me from my cage. Or perhaps you are, with that leash on your arm, and the one around your neck. With our collars and manacles, why, we may as well be kin.
Should have turned on the flashlight. So, apparently, there's a split personality in this character. And apparently his name is God, if you look in the top right. The opposite of dog. Read backwards. Let's see. Name carved on your chest. Are you dog?
I'm the voice of reason. I sleep sometimes. Down in the basement. In the cage. Now that I'm awake, Dog goes back in the cage. Dog knows I'm here, but can't do anything about it. I'm his conscience. Keep him tame, keep him from hurting us, doing foolish things. I've been
I don't know
trapped
if I
in here
trust
for
him.
some
The voice
time.
doesn't
Then
sound
you come along
particularly
and let me
good.
out. So, you opened my cage for a reason.
I would have wanted
I
to
want to know why.
have it automatically adjust the camera angle so you could actually see his face. Let's go with the science. Let's go with the medicine one.
Trauma. Yes, in a manner of speaking. Do you see these wounds of his covering his skin? The bear trap on his arm. He placed his own hand in it. The name he carved in his chest. To remind him of who he is, he inflicts pain on himself to silence me, when all I try to do... He cuts, hurts, and tries to murder me out of him. He won't succeed, just makes me angrier. Dog is the beast. We simply change cages, like the ones here.
I was looking for someone with a collar like mine. Where's your collar?
It's close. Closer than I'd like. Dog's been into things. Needs to think before he eats. Chew before he swallows. He's eager that way. Now the collar's a part of me. Inside. I can feel its electronic heartbeat. Clicking and burning down below. Like before. It was cold and heavy before going in the cage. Now you're here, and it's pulling and kicking again. Tugging like a leash. Interesting.
If the collar's inside you is active, I didn't switch it on. How did you eat one of the collars? Maybe you shouldn't go around shoving old world tech. We actually know where Elijah got these slave collars, by the way, from the Chinese internment camp in Big Mountain.
Really? Yet it led you here, to me. And now you're here, and it's burning a hole in my guts. Maybe it's crying for its owner. They detach. When segmented, they look like nothing more than metallic rad scorpions. And if they're attached to neck flesh, warm, red. Dog doesn't care what's on the body he's crushing in his hands. He'll mangle it, twist it, make it fit until he's full. Dog can't help himself. Hungry, greedy. And now the collar's inside, alive again.
Getting a
We're
little
trapped
repetitive.
here until it goes cold. As if I had a choice. Sometimes instinct takes over, and that's when I go into the cage. It's like curiosity that way. After all, you wouldn't have put that collar on by choice. Perhaps it was your curiosity that caused that hand to close on your neck. Of course you do. And so do I.
So. Let's go with this science question.
They were here when I arrived, so I made use of them, in a manner of speaking. More their voices, really. These collars, they don't just track us. You can eavesdrop on them as well. Tune to a frequency, and you can hear everything someone is saying. So perhaps it's a good thing that Dog swallowed his collar. Anyone listening would find it difficult to hear past the digestion.
Here we have an intelligence option.
Very good. Yes, it's another layer of white noise to ensure privacy. Unfortunately, it's also acted as a dinner bell for the residents. As long as the holographic greeter outside is active, however, I can get by them. The holograms fascinate them. Ghost worship, perhaps.
We're just getting more and more experience. Let's go with the lockpick one.
The key? Why, it's the old man, the one who brought us here. I hid the key on me so Dog wouldn't know. I just need the old man to show up so he and I can talk. If Dog was in control when the old man appeared, well, He would just do whatever he commanded, as always. And I can't have that.
I guess we'll just try and exhaust all of the dialogue.
No. Why did I lock him in the cage? I locked him in because I could feel him getting hungry again. There wasn't much time. If Dog roams, he gets into trouble. Eats things he shouldn't. Listens to others he shouldn't. So he's safer in here. We're safer in here. I hoped if I locked him in here, the one he obeys would come for him. Instead, I get you.
Let's go with this one.
Don't play stupid. I already have to mind one child. You must have figured it out by now. The old man obsessed
He looks
with the
more
Sierra
like a
Madre,
Nightkin than a
riddled with
super
greed.
mutant that's usually green.
Hoped you might be him when I woke up. All you are is his hand. You're the same kind of greed. Followed the radio, the broadcast, and now you're here, all confused. Not for long. You'll figure it out.
Let's go with, why do you say I'm the same as the old man?
You're not him any more than I'm Dog. But that collar around your neck, you're an extension of the old man's grasp. Clumsy, perhaps, but a tool, yes. And once you get acclimated to the Sierra Madre, then you'll feel the same overpowering hunger the old man does. And then you'll be him, not just his hand. Elijah. Human. Weak like all of you are. Feeling age circling him like starved dogs, howling for blood. To me, he reeks of age and failure. And madness. To me, he is simply the old man. To Dog, he is Master. His name, meaningless. Running out of years, hopes and dreams running through his withered hands like sand from the big empty, and scorched by the sun.
Scorched by the sun.
The old man, this Elijah, tried to hold the sun in his hands. Arrogance was cast down for it. Icarus' crime was to fly too high. Elijah wanted to bring the sun down to him. Arrogance.
Is that a reference to the Helios project?
Heard the call of the Sierra Madre, just like you did. Exactly the same way. Finds out it's more than a story. Comes to this shining, poisonous grail. This
Too much
jewel
dialogue,
of the desert.
certainly.
Dog knows him more than I do. Dog's always nodding, always obeying him, because he's weak and hungry and greedy for Master's affection. Of course I know. Even if I don't see it happen. Down in the cage, I hear echoes of the footfalls, the click of the collars. Every time I see one of you, I know exactly how you got here. You couldn't help yourselves, any more than Dog can help himself. You heard the voice, the promise, and then you walked right into one of the old man's traps. Then Dog comes for you, drags you here.
So, do you know the way back?
The way back doesn't matter. Try to leave, try to disobey, and your collar ends the journey faster than you can say, begin again. You're clever. You'd be able to find a way back if you left the villa. Dog can... I can find the way back, if back is where I even wanted to go. Until the old man lets you go, you're going nowhere. This beautiful paradise, with all its toxins and death, it's home.
It's so weird to have open world games then just force you to be trapped in a completely different section. Like, although, frankly, I just think most open world games don't really need to be open world. This would have been fine if the main game was more linear like this.
Me? You think I want to haul bodies around the wastes like a Brahmin at the whip? No. Dog does it. When the old man says fetch, Dog fetches. You were in a man trap, and Dog made his rounds and dragged you here. When, I don't know. But it must have been recent. Before the cage. I don't remember you. That isn't surprising. What is that it was when Dog was out of his cage. Free, hungry. He knows not to eat anything he catches in the traps. After that, however, so he dragged you here. You got spared. Dog must have fed after you arrived. Once he was fed, that allowed me out of the cage and put him inside. Do you remember how long you were out? Must have already been in the cage. Already had the collar in me. You're lucky Dog didn't devour you. Otherwise, we'd be closer than we are now. No, I don't think so. Even in here, I have more control than you do. I'm not leaving until the one who controls the collars shows. Not his voice, not his hand, not his lackey. Him. And when he comes to see me, we'll settle things. So go on. Go back to your master. Tell him I'm waiting for him. Dog may follow him. I won't.
If you don't come with me, you'll set off our collars, yours and mine.
Then I still win. I'd rather die in this cell than have Dog follow him any longer. Follow his orders, his
No
commands.
speech check for that
Desperate
option.
for recognition. The old man, he has the need to hold on to the past, to the Madre. I'd rather be free. Let go of this shell than have it cage me any longer.
Let's see.
They all wanted their freedom at first. Then, they realized they could get inside the Sierra Madre. After that, their freedom wasn't important anymore. They couldn't let go, just like the old man. So you say you want your freedom? No. Even if you feel that way, it won't last. You'll forget, get greed blind, and you'll turn. Dog? You're not talking to him now, are you? No. Even if you could drag Dog out of his cage, you still couldn't get him out of this cage. I put him here for a reason. If he could have escaped, he would have. So here he stays.
Let's see.
Yes, but Dog doesn't know that. We don't share everything. Sometimes it's a blessing. Sometimes it causes difficulties. Now I think it's a blessing. It
So,
keeps you on that side of the
I'm
cage.
not sure if
Now,
there's two options
you
here.
go fetch. Find your master. Bring him here so we can talk.
Something tells me I could just walk Dog through unlocking a door.
Yes, you could. And once he was out, all starving and hungry, what do you think he would do then? Be careful what cage you open, because he won't go back in it without a fight. He'll tear you apart. He won't care if it kills you both.
So
Of
yeah, at
course
this
you
point
do. And so do I.
I am just tired of these conversations, so and it looks like seems like I can't just leave.
Dog obeys, yes. Why? Do you have some means of contacting the old man?
Let's see. I can play the old man. His voice, yes. I have an audio log from my Pip-Boy.
You don't play it. If you do, I'll find a way to get out of the cage. End you. I'll murder you, crush your arms and legs until...
Let's see.
No, you wouldn't. If you did, you won't escape this place alive. I'd shatter every one of your limbs to splinters and leave you here. You think
See, it
I'm
kinda
afraid
sucks
of your
that
collar exploding, killing
He's
us?
just, I'm gonna have to just ruin his plans, I
I'll
think,
leave you
and
breathing,
do something evil.
then keep walking until my collar goes cold. I'll prop your broken body in view of the Sierra Madre so you can see what you came to steal. Forever out of reach as you die.
I can't convince you I'm not here for Sierra Madre or the men, so I'll prove it. I have the power to let Dog out of his cage. I'm going to prove it by not doing it.
Prove it? How? Words are worthless. No, you're not. Even though Dog's more docile, easier to control. You may regret this. This place is where creatures like Dog can survive.
A lot
The
of
people
dialogue
that fill
path
its
there to
streets,
get out of that
he
conversation.
is as vicious, more vicious than them. His hunger can help you more than I can. When I am in control, the shell is difficult to fight in.
And like, I'm just tired of the dialogue, so.
I am not sure you belong here. No, you don't belong here. Yet, you came this far, and I'm not interested in remaining here any longer. I'll unlock the cage. Very well. Lead on.
So God has given you in my footsteps perk. This perk grants you a bonus to stealth as well as the ability to step lightly around place traps. Yeah. And that was that whole time with the flashlight on. Okay. And so I don't think there actually is.
No toxins in the air in here.
Okay. Let's choose a different weapon. we've picked half of these Sierra Madre chips. Oh, I guess that's not one of them. It definitely looks like one of them. Yeah, that definitely looks like one.
That pit boy. Maybe I'll tear it off your arm. Wear it on my neck.
And so the first challenge is just to get like 500 of those chips, and I think the challenge will probably expand to get more. If that's not one, that is. Okay, so we searched this area over here. This is where the rad roach was. And see, I'm seeing fog.
Trying to lose me in the cloud? Not a chance.
It's your own fault you're here. Couldn't leave well enough alone.
So what are we, like, let's make a safety save here, and let's see what this thick cloud really is all about.
It's your own fault you're here. Couldn't leave well enough alone.
Really is just nothing. This guy's gonna just talk non-stop by the looks of it.
I'll end you. The idiot swallowed his collar.
We have glitching out sections. You see that just crossed over into a whole nother section.
That pip boy. Maybe I'll tear it off your arm. Wear it on my neck.
So this is where we left. Okay. So there's a whole other area that I guess is maybe a little bit higher up than where we just crossed over. Or maybe it is not actually directly connected. It might be a case that this little staircase here connected to that spot. Then the next quest would be to go that way, or go that way. Weirdly, this section seems to be nothing. And if this one is this section, then this section seems to be nothing. Which, my guess is we will probably just go and do those sections later, so this would be the right move. what I'd like to do. There's no heal or anything. And I do think that there's probably going to be limited places where you can even...
Couldn't leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
Won't get rid of me that easily.
Cloud is hurting me. And... I'm almost completely dead at this point.
The idiot swallowed his.
So I'm hoping I got everything I needed there. Yeah. I'm starting to find, I guess, more stim packs though. So the food here may not really matter as much. And red roach meat may just matter more. The whole verticality here, I think it's just going to play a bigger role.
Can't believe the idiots swallowed his collar.
I want to be somewhat thorough, but also just kind of don't want to spend too much time through all of this.
That Pip-Boy. Maybe I'll tear it off your arm. Wear it on my neck.
It definitely feels like dismemberment is more of a part of all of this, as far as these ghosts.
Almost got away. Then the idiot's hunger screws it up.
It's such a small area, however, we really just can't have that much content. Can't have that many encounters. Can't really do much of anything.
It's your own fault.
This is going to be
Couldn't leave well enough alone.
potentially a 2 or 3 hour
Those
experience. Now I could turn in ships to get bullets. Apparently I could return cigarette packs.
machines feed on
the
Sierra
game.
Madre chips. There's codes that unlock other things too. That Pip-Boy. Maybe I'll tear it off your arm. Wear it on my neck.
Let's see, I did see a crafting bench, but I don't remember where I saw the crafting bench. Let's see.
That Pip-Boy. Maybe I'll tear it off your arm. Wear it on my neck.
And I guess the question is, would talking to the hologram...
This gate to the Sierra Madre is sealed, locked, for now. I say, and it won't be locked for much longer.
Air tastes like copper.
Hmm. If I talk to the hologram, it might also let dog in. This vending machine is not any different, so it does just feel like there's maybe going to be a couple of vending machines that are
Maybe I'll tear it off your arm, wear it on my neck.
and this area is all blocked too.
That's a way out after you break into the Sierra Madre's vault. Try to leave. I'll set off your caller.
So yeah, even here we're hearing the voice of Elijah and it's not triggering dog, because that would be really unfair.
It's your own fault you're here. Couldn't leave well enough alone.
So my only real question, I guess, is .357 weapons. Should we just keep all of our caps? Or should we try and find a gun that would use 3.57 bullets? And I am going to run into a weight issue. I don't see how the game is going to adjust for that either. Seems like to me it is willingly letting you waste resources and become overburdened again, over encumbered again. And here we can look at the map. It definitely seems like there's probably a big section here, otherwise that's very weird, and there might be a small section here, but overall it does just feel like the whole game has to be really, really short. And health wise, I have to be a lot more careful going forward. But yeah, if it took 1 2-hour session to get one of the 3 companions, then there's a good chance that this DLC is only 4 to 5 hour, well, 6 to 8 hours long, which, yeah, that is going to overall put me close to somewhere around 200 hours of playing this whole game. Achievement wise, I have 51 out of 75, so there's definitely some achievements I just won't get, so I don't have to worry about that. Story wise, this doesn't really feel like much of anything so far. It does feel like they're setting up for a vault heist type experience, and it is much more vertical, it is much more urban than any other part of Fallout that we've seen. Definitely feels like it is a sharp contrast to the experience we had in Honest Hearts, where there was barely any technology and it didn't feel like it was in a post-apocalyptic future at all. But yeah, it just feels overall very, very small, and it seems like dialogue is going to try and stretch things out, and fetch quests are going to try and stretch things out. There is definitely an argument to changing the difficulty settings while playing this DLC in particular, so let's go ahead and do that. That might mean I am getting less XP, but I think in this case that's a risk worth taking, because it will not have a scenario where I walk into the cloud and accidentally kill myself, or just have no food or stim packs to restore myself. if this DLC was very large or very long in how you played it, it would get annoying fairly quickly, because yeah, that kind of health management is just not something you really expect from a Fallout game, and it's not something you really want in what I imagine a Fallout game should be, which is more of an action run and gun shooter. Compare the health situation here to something like Borderlands 1, which I really didn't think I'd be comparing New Vegas so much to Borderlands 1, but it really is a much better comparison than I thought it would be. But yeah, in Borderlands 1 you just have recharging shields and you very rarely die, and even when you do die you automatically respawn and just continue playing. There's no load screen or anything like that. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.